Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration.
Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you for joining me. Well, after a heavy session on Friday, the market rejected that topside challenge again for the Australian dollar at 65.40.45 and tumbled all the way back towards its trend line, somewhere around 64.05.45, and from there has settled. You can see here that the market is remaining somewhat negative, so therefore we could see another downturn at the start of this week, but towards that level where that trend line is, I find or expect demand will return and eventually see a break with the broader call still holding towards 66 to 67 cents. The euro was also a little bit mixed, but still holding up relatively well. As we can see, the market is still destined for a challenge to that 117 or even stretching to 118 after the dollar tumbled to a 3-year low at 97.50.55 area. The dollar index is now down 10% year to date, and no doubt that we could see further weakness that would drive the euro, as I mentioned, up towards that 116, 117 target. Looking ahead to this week's economic calendar, the Bank of Japan is expected to hold rates at 0.50%. Along with that, we've got US core retail sales, and then in the UK, we've got the CPI, and then following that, we've got jobless claims. We've got the Fed's meeting, which expects no change on Thursday at 4.5%. Keep an eye on what Jerome Powell has to say, because that will give further indication on how the market is expected to see the Fed eventually cut rates, maybe in September. Also this week, we got the Bank of England's rate decision with no change there at 4.25%. And wrapping up the week, we've got in the UK the retail sales, but the Australian calendar is rather light, and so is the euro. Any pullback for the euro dollar, expect to see support around 115, figure 45. The dollar yen was a little bit mixed on Friday. It took a stab at this trend line but bounced. Nevertheless, although there was a base formed around 140 to 142, I still expect the market to eventually take a challenge. But do keep an eye on this trend line, as it is holding on to some kind of support on the RSI, and therefore could see one more challenge to that top side level around 143.5 to 144, and then take the down challenge. Turning to sterling, the market was weaker again, but overall still destined to its top side target somewhere around 137 to 138. And if the Bank of England does keep rates on hold, could see a little bit more bias to the upside. Fishing with commodities, a further strength came through on gold as it breaks through that level of 3,400 and now looking towards that all-time high around 3,500. Any pullback likely to be shallow. And oil, well, that extensive move to the upside took the challenge all the way up towards near $75 a barrel, getting overbought and a bit of profit taking coming back into play here. I hold a neutral view due to the fact that the topside target for myself was reached and now waiting for further direction. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for joining me, and as always, look out for the intraday report. I hope you enjoy the great start to the new week.